Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back after a couple week hiatus to the Border NFL Gurus Commissioners Address for week 9. Forgive my absence, I've been busy, but you know what? Feels good to be back. Let's get at her. So, over the past couple weeks, we've had our share of blowouts, upsets, injuries, what have you. So let's just do a quick overview of the standings as we sit right now. Then we'll get into the weekly breakdown. So looking at the Rockstar division, Mr. Craig Travers still lighting it up. I'm pretty sure he was the last time I was on here. So he's sitting at 8-1 right now, shooting the lights out and leading the league in points for. Having himself a season. Followed closely by Peterson with a 7-2 record. Suck My Ditka holding down third spot in that division at 5-4. Wata trailing close behind at 4-5. Fast and Curious at 2-7, and Joe Buck yourself at a lowly 1-8 record. Pretty fucking ugly. And moving over to the Benchwarmers division, we have Vic This at 6-3 leading the way. Then we got a three-way tie with the Wendell Beckhams, Clug the Plug, and Rosturbation all at 5-4. Race Finkles and Billy Large sitting at 3-6, bringing up the rear. So looking at our matchups this week, we'll start with Joe Buck yourself and Rosturbation. Rosturbation taking this one 110-94. Joe Buck yourself started Malcolm Floyd, who left the game in the first quarter, barely played a full offensive series, and Eddie Lacy with -1 point. He's turned out to be a great fucking first rounder. Yeah, he's been really top shelf. Rosturbation led by D'Angelo Williams, who had a monster day with 36 points, and Drew Brees, who finished with a shade over 37. So Rosturbation takes that one. Moving over to Vic This versus Wata. Vic This taking this one 91-73. Neither team cracking 100 in this one, which is a little strange. But Vic This led by Chris Ivory with 16 points. His kicker had 14. This game was kind of a snooze fest, so I'm not gonna dwell on it a whole bunch, but. Yeah, Vic This taking this, and again, boosting him up to 6-3. So, moving over to, sorry, bear with me here. Suck My Ditka versus the Wendell Beckhams. Suck My Ditka having a monster week, putting up a shade under $160, led by Carr with 34, Antonio Brown with 30 points. It was just solid depth all the way through. Wendell Beckhams didn't have a terrible week. Just ran into a red-hot Suck My Ditka team. So that's the way it goes. And Suck My Ditka takes that one 159-114. So beautiful showing. Moving over to Peterson versus Rays Finkles. Peterson taking this one 109-84. Race Finkles was never in it, no surprise though. Although Langford, his last-minute pickup, Chicago Bears running back, did have a nice night with 22 points, so he might be one to watch going forward. Peterson continues his winning ways, leaving him at 7-2. So had a good week there. Moving over to Billy Large versus the Fast and the Curious. Billy Large picking up the win here. I know, don't say that very often. But this one was 77 for Billy and 69 for the Fast and the Curious, which is a pretty poor outing all the way around. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this one. And our final game of the week, 4-0 and Clug the Plug. 4-0. Dominant again, 141-102, boosting him to 8-1. He looks virtually unstoppable at this point. Putting in Crabtree this week, picking up 23 points. Aaron Rodgers, 41 points. Frank Gore had a nice outing again. Cooks, not too shabby. Just an all-around solid effort. So good on him. That moves him up to 8-1 and drops Clug the Plug down to 5-4, who's not having a bad inaugural season actually. But yeah, so interesting season so far. We really only got a couple guys out of it, me being one of them. Just having a tough fucking year, but it is what it is. So let's move over to our blowout of the week. Our blowout of the week belongs to the Wendell Beckhams. Mr. Jason Watt getting blown out by 45 points by Suck My Ditka. Tough one to take this week, Jay. It's not like you had a piss poor week or anything like that, but just ran into a red hot team. So, and our jackass of the week. Well, that one's got to go to Reed Flash this week. I had never seen anything like it. Reed had 15 points going into Sunday night. When 85% of the games are done, he had 15 points going into Sunday night. He lost, but I mean, when you have that few of points going into Sunday night, it comes as no surprise. I don't even know how you do that, but it is what it is. Reed, you get the prestigious honor this week. So we're moving into week 10. Things are obviously starting to take shape at this point. We're running out of time here. Unless you're 8-1, then you want the season to be over already. But season's pretty much all but lost for myself. This week we got Joe Buck Yourself versus Wendell Beckhams, Vic This versus 4-0, which should be a good game. Suck My Ditka against Billy Large, Race Finkles against Watta, Fast and the Curious against Clug the Plug, and Rosterbation against Peterson, which should also be a good matchup. But yeah, I would need to pretty much win out and get some losses. We need some things to happen. Probably not going to happen. So, but yeah, it is what it is. So there's always next season. So until next time, keep playing that wire. All hail the commish.